Hello everyone and welcome back to our porch on the cul-de-sac. You know, yesterday marked the end of the very busy period of our summer. All the camps and swim lessons are over. So we're looking forward to the last month of just having a little more time to relax and sleep in. And it also gives us plenty of time to go inside today and cook up a dinner. So let's go. Okay, so tonight on the menu we have Thai chicken green curry. Now this is another one of my private chef meals where I prepared one dish complete freezer meals. And by complete we mean lean protein, vegetable, whole grain, and taste without resorting to the usual fat, butter, cream, condensed soup, or lots and lots of salt. Instead, we are using our creative juices here. Now, this dish can be prepared with chicken or tofu, so I'm going to show you both ways. Okay, first we're going to prepare the tofu and set that aside and move on. We're going to lightly brown 2 8-ounce packages of cubed super firm tofu, which we drained, and a little drizzle of canola oil and just 1 pat of butter. Okay, now tofu is a whole soy food and it's a very good meat substitute. And this will take about 6 to 8 minutes to lightly brown it. And you want to choose a high quality organic soy. Now tofu is sold in a refrigerated section by cheese and meat substitutes. Okay, we'll be back when the tofu is lightly browned and ready to move on to the next step. Our tofu did lightly brown for us. It does take a few minutes, just be patient. And again, it just lightly browns. It doesn't become golden brown. And I did have to drizzle a little bit more canola oil in it a couple different times, and I just kept flipping it continually with a soft spatula. So we have it in our disposable pan, and now we can move on to the sauce for both the chicken and the tofu dishes. We're going to get our sauce going now for both the tofu and chicken curries. Now in my food processor, I have 2 medium yellow onions and 4 medium to large cloves of garlic. Now, we're also going to add about 1 inch of fresh ginger root, sold in the produce section, and just break off about as much as you want to buy. That's totally acceptable. So first what we're going to do, I'm going to take my fresh ginger, just show you how to use it. You can, what I do is I kind of cut off the little extra pieces that are sticking out of it to make it easier to work with. And what you can do is just peel it with a vegetable peeler, or you can take it off with, you can peel it with a knife as well. But vegetable peeler does work pretty well. And just get all the peel off, like that. And it smells, fresh ginger smells kind of lemony. And it really is going to add to the nice complexity of the flavor. Flavor's known for Thai cuisine anyway. Very complex flavors. So, then what we're going to do is once it's all peeled, you can just cut down just 3-4 thin slices of it. Ginger is fairly hard. And we're going to put it into, I'm just going to pre-chop it a little bit and add it to my food processor, just in a couple chunks here. Okay. And put that in. It's about a 1-inch piece of ginger in there. And we're going to put the lid on. And not completely puree it, just pulse it until it kind of resembles a small, fine chop. Okay? Okay, we have our 2 medium yellow onion, our 4 cloves of garlic, and about 1 inch of our fresh ginger root that we basically grated, very finely chopped in the food processor. And what we're doing is we are cooking it over a medium heat and a little drizzle of canola oil and a pat of butter until it's just softened. Okay, we're still over about a medium heat, and our onion, our garlic, and our ginger has just softened. So now we are going to add 1 teaspoon of curry powder. Curry powder is primarily turmeric, but it also has some cumin, chili. I'm just going to stir the curry powder in there just for a few seconds. Get some of that flavor going. It smells delicious. I love curry powder. We're going to add 1 32-ounce carton of vegetable broth. Okay, we're going to get that in there. This is shelf-stable, organic vegetable broth. Comes in a carton. It's very convenient to keep on hand. It takes a few minutes to get it all out of there, though, doesn't it? I'm just going to continually stir while I'm pouring that in there. Okay, I'm going to switch to a whisk now. 1 bottle, 8-ounce bottle of clam juice. Okay, and 1 8-ounce bottle of green taco sauce. This is mild. Now, this is what you can use to control your heat for your family. If you want it hot, then choose hot. If you want it mild, then choose a bottle that says mild. But I will caution you to stick with the brand that you originally chose, because one brand's mild is another brand's hot. We found that out the hard way. And even with this mild one, it still has a little kick to it. Okay, and then again I'm switching to a whisk just to get it nice and blended. And we're going to add 1 cup of coconut milk. Okay, now I'm getting my coconut milk from one of those shelf-stable cartons sold near the soy milks and the rice milks, because I actually use this in my coffee, so I always have it on hand. But you can get it from a can as well. So that is all the liquid components of our sauce. All right, all of our sauce ingredients are in the pot. And now we're going to add our whole grain millet. Just tiny little golden pearls. Okay, I'm going to pour those into the pot. I switched back to a spoon. All right, stir those in. Now, like I said, millet is a whole grain, whole intact grain. So therefore, so are all of its nutrients. It's a good source of fiber, iron, B-complex vitamins, and it's also a gluten-free grain, by the way. Now, your local neighborhood grocery store may or may not have millet. It'll have some whole grains, but maybe not a real extensive selection. So what I do, I take a little field trip to one of those larger, well-stocked, fancy grocery stores every now and then, and I visit their whole grain section. I just pick out a couple of whole grains that I can't get in my neighborhood grocery store and bring them home and use them for various dishes like this. And last to this, well, not last, but next to the sauce, we're going to add 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast that I cut into like half inch to 3/4 inch bite-sized pieces. So we're going to get that in there. We're going to bring the whole thing up to the boil and then reduce it to a low to medium simmer until the chicken is cooked all the way through, and stirring on occasion just to make sure the grain is not sticking to the bottom of the pot. And we'll be back when the chicken is cooked through. Okay, we brought the pot to a full rolling boil, and then we did bring it down to a low to medium simmer for about 10 minutes. And as you can see, the sauce did slightly thicken. And FYI, by the way, that was 1.5 cups of whole grain millet. I think I left out the amount there. So what we're going to do is we need to remove the chicken from this pot into our casserole dish for tonight's dinner. And just get, I'm just going to use a small slotted spoon, and I might get a little bit of the grain in with it, but that's okay. But I'm going to get all the chicken out of there, and then we'll divide the sauce up between the tofu dish and the one with chicken. Okay, we did separate our chicken out from the sauce, and we have that in our dish for tonight's dinner. By the way, don't forget to pre-spray your dishes with a cooking spray. Now, to each pan, we're going to add 1/16 ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots. That's for our vegetable portion. And as you can hear, they're still frozen. And now we'll add it to the chicken. And I'm just going to kind of mix that around a little bit with my fingers to get that mixed in. Now, before we just divide the sauce between our two pans, we're going to finish it off with the juice of 1 lime, okay? And about a teaspoon's worth of dried parsley. Okay? Just stir that in, and once you get that mixed in well, we're going to divide the sauce, like I said, between the two pans and kind of mix it in a little bit because it does thicken. The sauce does get thickened. And this is how I divide it evenly between the two pans. I don't measure, I just use a ladle, and I just kind of go back and forth between the two pans, 1 ladle at a time or 2 ladles at a time, until the sauce is all gone in my pot. Okay, we did successfully divide the sauce between the two pans, and what you'll do is the sauce just kind of sits on top because it is thickened, and as it gets cool, it gets even more thick. So it is necessary to just fold it into your vegetables and your chicken or your tofu. All right, so we'll get it all folded in both pans, and then we'll just kind of level it out. Okay, everything is mixed up nicely in both of our pans. For our disposable pan with the tofu, we're going to just place a piece of freezer paper on that and foil and package that up for the freezer meal. Now for the weeknight Thai chicken green curry that we're going to be enjoying this evening, all we have to do is cover that with foil, and we're going to bake that at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for a good 20 minutes until it's warm. Then we'll remove the foil and we'll return it to the oven for an additional 15 minutes or so until it's hot and maybe even a little bubbling all the way throughout. And if you'd like, and this is really a nice final touch, you can then at that point just sprinkle the top, a light even sprinkle of sweetened coconut flakes. Return it to the oven for just 5 minutes until it's lightly golden. You'll really need to watch it because you won't want it to burn. Then we'll remove it from the oven, let it stand for 5 minutes before serving. Okay, while our chicken dish is cooking, just a quick note about the freezer meals. What I would tell my clients to do with their freezer meals is to remove them from the freezer and put them in the refrigerator at least one night before. And when you get home from work, just place it on a baking sheet, and remembering to remove the freezer paper beneath the foil, replace the foil cover, and bake it up at about 450 degrees Fahrenheit while covered with the foil for about 30 minutes because typically they'll still be hard and frozen. Remove the foil, give it a stir, and continue heating it at the 450 for another 15 minutes or so until it's hot all the way through and maybe even bubbling a little bit. And with this dish, you can do the coconut step that we did for the chicken as well. And if you want both batches to contain chicken, then simply eliminate the tofu and increase the chicken from 1.5 pounds to 2.5 pounds. And then just divide your sauce mixture with the chicken between the two pans and continue from there. And if you want both batches to contain tofu, then simply eliminate the chicken and double your tofu amount. Still pre-browning the tofu and dividing it up between your two pans. You will still want to bring your sauce to the boil and then reducing it to like a low to medium steady simmer for about 10 minutes to pre-cook your grain, just stirring it off and on as we did here to keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Now, for your convenience, let's do a quick rundown of the ingredients for your grocery list. 2 medium yellow onions, 4 cloves of garlic, 1-inch piece of fresh ginger, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, 32 ounces of vegetable broth, 1 8-ounce bottle of clam juice, 1 8-ounce bottle of green taco sauce, mild, medium, or hot, whatever your preference is, 1 cup of coconut milk, 1.5 cups of whole grain millet, that's M-I-L-L-E-T. Now for the meat and the tofu, I'm going to give you amounts for a double batch, as if you're making all chicken or all tofu. Okay, 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast cut into about 1/2, 3/4 inch bite-sized pieces. Or if you're going to do all tofu, that will be 4 8-ounce packages of cubed super firm tofu drained. Juice of 1 lime, 1 to 2 teaspoons sprinkling of dried parsley flakes, 2 16-ounce packages of frozen peas and carrots, and sweetened coconut flakes. Now, let me just tell you real quick. Our chicken curry is in the oven, and I increased the cook time to about 25 minutes covered with foil. Now, I'm going to remove the foil, as I stated earlier, and we'll let it stay in there until it's good and hot and bubbly for about another 15 to 20 minutes or so. All right, so we'll be back. Okay, I just took it out of the oven. It was in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, covered with foil for 25 minutes. Then I removed the foil cover and I continued heating it for an additional 15 minutes until it was hot all the way through. Now we're going to do the final touch. This is optional, but it is a nice touch. We're going to sprinkle the top with just a light, even sprinkle of sweetened coconut flakes until it's just an even layer. And then we're going to return it to the oven, just keeping it at 350 for, it should not take more than 5 minutes until the top is just lightly toasted, lightly golden toasted coconut flakes. And keep an eye on it. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes because you don't want it to burn. Okay, so we'll be back at the dinner table. Okay, our weeknight Thai chicken green curry cooked up beautifully. And our favorite oven to table. I did let it sit for about 5 minutes. And now we'll serve it up.